Hello there. Just decided today, being about a week since my last little forage into making videos, to follow up on last week's experience where I was showing you some of the breathing exercises I've done to help calm things down. It's been an interesting and surreal week for me. I have had such an amazing set of experiences. It's unbelievable. Now, Monday, I had the honour at tea time to greet around 600 plus nurses who were coming to the Abbey to attend a service in commemoration of Florence Nightingale being a major part of their year. And the Abbey was one of the few places where the sun was shining. It was roaring hot and humid and bright sunshine, and yet most of London was thunderstorms and hail, which is unbelievable. Tuesday, I received some very, very good support and feedback and praise from my boss and other people who are quite important in the Abbey, which really lifted me and made me feel pretty good in myself. And then some friends of mine took me out for a pizza, which was really nice, and that was another beautiful experience. Wednesday, while my friends were going off to see Trooping the Colour, not Trooping the Colour, Changing of the Guard, they keep mistaking Changing the Guard for Trooping the Colour, but at Buckingham Palace, I stayed behind to pray quietly in one of the shrines, and when I came out I basically bumped into Her Majesty the Queen, who happened to be taking advantage of the Abbey being quiet to attend a blessing of the foundation stone for a new visitor centre. So that was quite surreal. And then the next day, Thursday, being a half day because of a bit of work needing to be done, I was on board HMS Belfast with some of my colleagues and friends, and that was an amazing experience. And strangely enough, there was a modern warship moored right next door called HMS Sutherland, which I believe was having a bit of a ceremony where they row a barrel of booze over to the Tower of London for the governor. And then Friday, another surreal day. I was on duty outside the Abbey, which was closed again, and it was the 300th anniversary of the Order of the Bath, and I was fortunate enough to see the King and Prince of Wales, and I also saw something I'd always wanted to see, which is the Military Knights of Windsor in their full uniforms, their dress uniforms, in attendance. And also, I've never had the opportunity to see and greet so many knights. I mean, we've all of us would have met one or two knights over the years, receptions, parties, maybe even people we know. But there must have been well over 700 dames and knights of the realm attending this service, and they all had their regalia on. I was flattered when one general actually saluted my coronation medal, which I was wearing for the occasion. Even though I'm not a military man, it was quite fun to have an actual general saluting that, which was nice. Made me feel a little bit bigger than I was before. And then I was fortunate enough to see the King leaving with some of my colleagues, just quietly getting into his car and leaving at the end of it all. And so it rounded off an absolutely amazing week. So I just wanted to share that with you. And because some people have been asking, I also thought I would share some exercises. Because when I first came to London, it's hard to believe, but I was 25 years old. I was a fully qualified fitness instructor. I had coaching awards for all the major sports except for football, because I detest football, and instead I have a coaching award in qualification, I should say, in netball, which is a really difficult sport, badminton, volleyball, squash, also tennis and water polo, and a bronze medallion lifeguard qualification. And yet, like many people, I arrived in London, promptly hit the booze and the fags and didn't do much exercise, and it was only recently that I've started getting back into health and fitness again, both for the mind but also for the body. And it's been paying a few dividends. I'm only taking it very carefully. I'm mainly doing calisthenics and things, and I thought I would share a few of those today, which is why I'm dressed in this clobber but also sat on this bench. So let's get going. So there's a few exercises which basically you can do any morning. I started out doing 5 minutes a morning, and I'm now up to about 10 to 15 minutes. Very, very simple. You don't need much. A lot of it is floor exercises and so on. But what we essentially do is, if I can just adjust the camera, because I don't want to be in the sand pit that's next to me, is there are several exercises to do. Some of them you don't need anything, some of them you need a handy tool. So the first one, heads over like you're a diver, foot ahead of you, plant it down and just bend. And you keep doing this, and I do this first thing every morning, and it's a great way of stretching the muscles and waking up. And you do this, and you keep doing this, initially for the count of 20, for 20 repetitions, though I'm now gradually worked it up to about 30. And you just keep doing this, keep counting away, and it basically improves the balance. And because you're having to concentrate, no need to rush, you do it as slow as you like, slower the better, improves the core, right? Which is why I'm obviously wearing all this gear. Another exercise you do when you've done your 20, and if you want, you can hold on to something, this bench maybe, a chair. I lean on a door frame, and again, all you're going to do, raise one leg, back and forth, like so. Now I started out as 15, and now I'm up to about 30 of these. And you do, basically, start off by doing 15 of these. It will exercise part of your actual stomach, your abdominals. It also helps with the balance. It also does something for the bum at the back as well. And that will improve your balance, your posture, and so on. And obviously change, do the same again. Very simple exercises. If you want to, lean on the other one, it doesn't matter. If you're confident, which I'm not, you can even do it without leaning, but I prefer to literally just rest my hands on something. Okay. And then, nice and simple, just to stretch things out on the sides, hand in front of the other, just as simple. Keep your feet planted on the ground, back and forth, just twisting. And again, start with about 20 of these, but though I'm now up to about 30, sometimes I feel a bit greedy and I go to 40. And you just gently swinging. There's no need to rush it, no need to rush it at all. Okay. And then, to finish off this kind of exercise, anything at all, back of a chair whatsoever, very simple, nice and slow. What that does, it works the thighs, it also works the stomach for balance. And what you're doing, you're not in a race, just do it good and steady, good and slow, and that is it. And again, maybe 15 or 20 of these to start with. Build it up as you become more confident. And then we move to floor exercises. And again, very, very simple. You keep your feet on the ground. I'm trying to avoid this sand pit that I'm in at the moment. And all we do, we lie flat on the ground, pull the feet up, and all we're doing is just literally, very slowly, and we're exercising the stomach and the back, the lower back. Now this will help stretch out any back problems. Okay. And you do, again, about 15 of those, working up to 20 maybe. Carry on going as you go, getting more and more confident, working your way up. Okay. And then, this is the fun part, we do the sit-ups. So what you do, legs straight out, arms straight up, and you just crunches. That's all you're doing. So just crunching away, again, 15 maybe to start with, going up to 20, maybe to 30. Something else that I do after a modest rest in between is just scissors. And again, 15 to start with, moving up to 20, 25, 30, and again, it's working here and it's working here. But you're not killing yourself. Just go at your own steady pace. It's not a race. If you rush it, you're cheating. Slow and steady, you're doing something. Your body will respond to that. And at first you think, God, this is boring. You'll think, you know, after 10, you'll think, I want to give up. Just do the extra few more. When you're comfortable with 15, go to 20 next time. A week later, you're comfortable on 20, go to 25. Just little steps. As the old Queen used to say, tiny steps. Rather than do a big race to the finish, just do the tiny steps, and you'll get there in the end. You know, you will get there. Okay, and then another little exercise is the traditional crunch. So, knees up, alternate, knee to elbow. You're not grabbing the back of the head, just touch the side. And all you're doing is just knee to elbow. 15 or 20 of those. You know, start off simple. It will get easier as the weeks go by. Okay, and then what I do, this is just something I do because I've learned a lot of these from observing videos, looking at articles and so on, is I raise up and I then do leg scissors. Nice and simple. Hold yourself up and all you're doing, stretch the toes to the sky, leg scissors. Sometimes I'll do some of these as well, but it's just as simple as that. And for those who remember the old 1970s, 1980s fitness videos, very simple one to finish off, just to warm down a bit. Just as simple as that. 15 of these to start with, later on, move up to 20, 25. And remember to alternate the legs. So, obviously, and you're not trying to kill yourself. Just simple movements, that's all. And of course, if you can find a beautiful spot like Reigate Castle, which is where I am at the moment, the castle's no longer here, but the gardens are, then, you know, this is a great place. You know, on a Sunday morning, I am completely alone, apart from a couple of magpies that are lurking around, and there's a dove over there somewhere, eyeing me rather suspiciously. Where could you go wrong? Tie this in with a little bit of breathing exercises, you know, even better. You know, a great storing life is put on for the well-being and the mind, you know, on this. Yes, it is the case, but as one of the clergy said to me the other day, there's one thing to have spiritual well-being and mental well-being, but physical well-being can help them both as well. It's almost like a trinity of well-being, a little trinity of well-being. So if you're mentally well, you can be spiritually well, and you can then, of course, conversely be physically well. So I hope this has been of use. I hope I just haven't made a complete and utter fool of myself. And I just wanted to share a little something. Maybe if one person finds this useful, it's not a waste of time. Okay. Well, have a great Sunday. Bless you all. And who knows, maybe next week or the week after I'll be inspired to do another one. But I'll post this up onto my YouTube channel later on and share it on all the others once I've got my breath back. And have a great Sunday. God bless.